Friday morning and we're heading off for another adventure. There's a weather advisory that they're calling for possibly over 50 millimeters of rain tomorrow, but we already had these plans booked, so hey, why not go for it? What's the worst that can happen? We get my hair wet? We're making our way to Campobello, New Brunswick. It's Herring Cove Provincial Park. Just like we're going down to Digby Islands like we did recently, it takes 2 ferries to get there, so it's going to be an interesting experience, and let's see where it goes. We just went through the Campobello tolls. It's a bypass highway here in Nova Scotia. It saves you doing a lot of the back roads. It costs $5.50 per vehicle, unless it's a commercial vehicle, then it's more, of course. But for Nova Scotia residents, they now have it so it's free, so thankfully we can just go right through. This time we didn't, though. The commissioner made sure that we stopped, and I love it. He actually had to ask what our trailer's going to be when it grows up. He gave us a good laugh, and hopefully that guy has a great weekend. We just passed through St. John. We're making a pretty good time. We see a couple of raindrops in the windshield, but it's really intermittent, not even enough to put the wipers on yet. We could be so lucky that it continues this way, but oh well, we're gonna have a great time anyway.
The cedar trees are so tall here, they're quite the sight. We're not used to seeing that around Nova Scotia. And just like on Digby Islands, they have their own weather station here.
After stretching everyone's legs at the falls, we decided to continue along the back roads. Of course, that's the way we liked it. Although it was a nice break being on the back roads, our map guidance took us right back onto the highway. Oh well, we're making better time now at least.
The trailer fit on, not much room though.
Well, we made it across the first ferry, and of course it just started raining then. So we'll get wet, but this is a great little drive. On the bright side, we're on an island, so we don't exactly know where the next ferry is. We'll just keep going until we see water, and hopefully there'll be a ferry. Both Kirsty and I just got notifications from our phones that we're in the US apparently. So we're on the Canadian soil, but we're picking up cell phone towers from the States. Pretty cool.
This ferry has a cool setup where it's basically a barge with a tug attached, and the tug pivots on a hinge, so regardless of which way it's going, it just unties from one side and attaches to the other. stopped by the northern side of the island and saw Harbor Head Lighthouse. It's a really cool lighthouse with an audible air horn, as you can hear. Apparently at low tide, you're able to walk over there. You have to walk through the shoreline though, with all the seaweed and the rocks. There are steps to get down there, and there's stairs on the other side to get up from the ocean floor. But it's, especially with Kirsty's healing ankle, it's not going to be something that we're going to try today. I don't think puppies are going to be allowed to do that either. If Kirsty and I ever decide to go down to the States, this is definitely the border crossing we're going to choose. Doesn't look like there's much traffic, and it's just something different rather than just going through the standard land crossings. The Roosevelt Campobello International Park is quite the unique situation. It's funded and operated both by the Canadian and the US government. You can explore the heritage buildings, including the FDR Summer Cottage, as well as the natural areas in the park. Does anyone else think of Bon Jovi when they see this sign? Another great observation deck. Unfortunately, not a good view to observe. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but the amount of mosquitoes on this trail, pretty much on this whole island, is quite remarkable. We thought PEI last year was bad for mosquitoes. No, this year definitely New Brunswick has a beat. Heading back to Liberty Point. Although we don't know exactly what that's going to be, but we'll find out. We just come back from Liberty Point. We didn't know what to expect, but we saw a recommended 4x4 required trail, so we said, why not go down and see where it goes? We're really glad we did. It was a beautiful view. I only wish it was more clear, because apparently you may be able to even see some porpoises, some dolphins, and even some whales. And we saw frogs and seagulls.
We're coming out from the 4x4 only required. That's a generous term, I think, because we just met a Porsche coupe coming back down to Liberty Point. Mind you, we had to pull way over for them because they were definitely not able to pull onto the shoulder. Goodness knows they would get their white paint dirty, but anyway. But yeah, it's if you get a chance to come out to this island, definitely recommend you going out to see Liberty Point. There's a lot of hiking trails, biking trails, and driving trails like we did.
We found this large marker. We think it's part of the border, but we're not sure. Can anyone out there confirm for us in the comments?
Some of the people on the American side of the border going clam digging, I'm assuming, but that half ton is definitely not on a roadway. I thought I like to drive off-road, but that's a little pushy for my liking. After a day of exploring the island, we took the dogs out for an after-supper hike. Good morning. We're all packed up on Sunday morning. Decided to do one last hike for the dogs. A little pee break and everything before we run for the ferry. just past Moncton exits, and the skies are suddenly not looking as friendly as they were back at the campsite. Chris, you notice there's a lot of license plates from New Brunswick around here? Yeah. And no sooner did I say the clouds aren't looking as friendly, than suddenly it's being that rain. Quick stop at the Nova Scotia-New Brunswick border for a puppy pee break, of course. We're back on the road and heading on home. Well, we're on the back roads almost home. It was a great adventure. We never even heard of these islands until earlier this year, and just have a chance to go check them out. It's something we'll definitely return to next year. Thanks for coming along with us, and we're off to our next adventure.